You ever have a silly moment when you're just like, whoa, I don't know how that happened. That happens in art and it happens in life, right? So in this week's video, I'm gonna take a walk through the sketchbook with you guys. Ooh, and make a page. That's what we'll be doing. Hi, I'm Natalie Dadamio. I'm a mixed media artist, intuitive guide and channel, and a creative soul, and so many other things, right? We're never just any one thing. I love art making, and I'm kind of right in the middle of a big transition and change, and so my life has been upside down. I don't know if any of you guys can relate to that one. I've been sick a couple of times over the last few months, and it's really taken me out, among other things. But there's good news here. As much as we're going through something, we can learn how to create our lives and show up to our creative practice. And I just want to give you a peek through this sketchbook and show you how I maybe come to a page in the morning when I'm like not really doing a lot of work, but maybe a little work. And that's what this video is going to be about. So let's go. So I thought I'd talk about a current sketchbook that I've been working on, and how I use it. And then also, you know, I work in various sizes, and I like this size to be able to carry around into a, like purse or whatever. So I wanted to talk about the bigger sketchbook though today and show you what's been going on in this one. This is really just gonna be a place to explore and experiment and express, and there doesn't have to be a lot of thought, and it's a way to work out ideas. Sometimes I'll hear words or write poems, and that's important to include it into the morning, like pages, like the day that I'm working on work. It's just another way to record your thinking. To me, art has words, and words can convey like images, so it's important to me to express all of that. So in these pages I was really I'm just like exploring within like, 15 minutes, maybe sometimes there's a couple layers. I was writing down what it meant for me. These are some important words for me this year. It's always good to maybe notate what you're like looking for in the moment, not just in your artwork, but your life, and kind of gravitate towards what, these words convey. It's fun just to like have a moment in a sketchbook where it doesn't have to be like that worked over. And I noticed in the past some people tend to like overwork a sketchbook. And I guess it's up to you what you want to do in it, right? But for me, it's more about jotting down the thoughts, getting it out, keeping it really loose and simple. It doesn't mean that there won't be complex things that come out of it, but it means that I don't want to think too much at all in the sketchbook. I want to let it kind of inform me, and these are nice pages. I'm just looking at this now again. I haven't looked at it since I've been working in it. So it's new to me, like, and that's what happens and why it's good to like work every day on something, and work kind of freely and loosely, because you just never know what's gonna arise out of this moment. And then I was just writing my desires here, a lot about what my art contains. It's good to do a word bank, which I'm gonna talk about that more going forward. Desires is just something to keep track of, you know. Sometimes words come out and I just like will allow it to be there. But I'm just really exploring with color, marks, you know, the materials. This was done in a class and it was a little bit different way to start a page. So, you know, you can kind of use it for everything. Exploring like what you're going through. Sometimes, you know, the words will just come out, so I'll devote a page to that. Black and white exercise. I really like these pages a lot. They're exciting. This is like notebook paper that I'm just using. So, well, you can already see that just by going through some of these pages that you are just building a visual language. This is all in the last month and a half or so. So, you know, this is a little different day, so it's always interesting to look through and notice, like, what was going on here. I don't really know, but yeah, that's the beauty of the sketchbook, right? Like, you don't have to know. Well, you don't really have to know any of this, but it does, like, create a visual vocabulary as you look through it and look back. And an understanding of a moment of where I was, you know, being, like, honest and authentic in the words and the work and the color and the line, shape, and form. This is a word bank of what other people had said about my work recently. It's weird. Each person kind of gave me 2 words, and it's not like I asked them. They just automatically were offering it up. And that's a good way when you're feeling like some days you're gonna feel off. You just are, right? In art and life. So if you write down what people have said to you, you can sometimes go back to this kind of word bank and remind you that other people feel this from the work you're doing, whether it's the artwork or whatever you're trying to create, right? So I thought that was a really cool day. Here's a quote, you know. It says, obstacles are an opportunity to express, practice, virtue, patience, courage, humility, resourcefulness, reason, justice, and creativity. Ryan Holiday. It's about the obstacle is the way. I've been really hyper focused on that because I've had a lot of obstacles. So I'm like, okay, maybe if the obstacle is the way, how can I make it work for me? And I think about this in artwork too, but I was more thinking about it in my life and business, in the next directions that I'm trying to take. So I'm currently going through the Art to Life Creative Visionary Program again. And Nicholas Wilton said this one day in class, promise me you'll never figure this out. You know, he's talking in regards to art making. You don't... It made me chuckle because, you know, it's kind of the antithesis of what you want to hear in class, right? You want the teacher to maybe say, you're gonna figure all of this out. But that's really, like, not how it works. So, like, to me, that's a pretty damn honest statement, you know? And that, and a little quirky moment, promise me you'll never figure this out. I don't know, just sit with that in art and life. That means there's open interpretation for a lot of exploration and experimentation, and we don't know what the next day is gonna bring us in our artworks and in our life. And you don't want to be done, really, you know. Sometimes we have the illusion that we're looking for this finite answer, but it doesn't really work like that in art or life. And you're always going to be expanding if you're like continuing in any kind of practice or any kind of relationship. If you're going to like try to take it somewhere to the next level and not like run away from yourself or whatever it is, you're going to get the next thing, right? You're gonna have this next moment. So know that there's like an infinite wellspring of everything to, you know, amuse us. And it's not always easy, right? And that's the struggle, but the struggle sometimes makes it worth it. Of course, this is just another like color exploration, and I had to mess it up a little. I noticed that I definitely am a little rebellious. I gotta have a little interest or I'm like bored. You know, so when you find out these things are working for you, then you can apply that into the work you're doing. And it's all interconnected. So what I thought I would do is work on a couple pages and show you what I'll do, and kind of just go from there. So I thought I'd work on a couple pages, and you know, when I'm thinking about this, well, I'm not really thinking about this. A lot of the times, like, I would use, say, excess paint from a brush or something. These have been sitting in water. There isn't really a wrong way to start. I've been using spray paint lately, but I'm just, like, picking up what's to the left of me or what's on the table. I'm not even like thinking too much about how is this starting. I'm not really worried about this might have a bleed through, but yeah, I'm not concerned about that. I'm more concerned about what is happening in this moment and paying attention to that. Oh, you know, I'm just grabbing. It's interesting. I would say it starts different all the time. I just want to have like a moment with what I'm doing, and you know, I've been moving through a lot of challenges lately. I'm just gonna say that in a blanket statement. I mean, who doesn't move through challenges if you're alive? Sometimes it feels a little insurmountable, I'm not gonna lie. But, you know, that's what's cool about having these pages and not having to stress out about it. And just kind of like playing in the moment. This is just a scrap paper. In regards to color and mark, I mean, in this case, I'm not really worried about what's going on. I'm not looking at as, if I was going to sit down and think about a color study or something, I might change the relationship to how I'm selecting the color. So it's all about that intentionality. But in this case, I'm more invested with the emotionality and like the materials and like what is coming out. So there's like a lot of different ways you can approach these pages, you know. So I'm just kind of just seeing what's there and letting that guide me. And, you know, I'm kind of like having this double page spread, letting these pages talk to each other. And you can even see like this blue mark, it was a marker. You know, then this graphite pencil is kind of having a similar song and cadence to it, moving across the page. And then you can see even within this whitish peach paint, it's still responding. So I'm and I'm not thinking about that, but I'm trying to explain what I see. I'm kind of, when I'm like coming to this page, I'm just literally just like, ooh, I'm in the moment. I'm like feeling it. I'm like, you know, I'm looking for that allowing factor. Like, you know, I left this that way. And there's, that's the thing. I noticed that I am looking for more openness lately. Not just in the artwork, but life. So it's kind of interesting to notice that dynamic happening. I don't really know what it means. But the thing is, you don't have to know in order to have an experience. And sometimes this can just be a way to practice how these different materials are gonna feel, and that can really make all the difference. Like something subtle like that, we don't think about, like, oh, you found these like in a store and, you know, now they're like a thing and they feel like buttery smooth. Like, it's kind of like lipstick, but they're gel sticks or whatever. But, you know, and then that kind of changes the experience. So you could think of every element as just another experience. And how is that going to feel in the body and when we make these marks. So that was a little peek through the sketchbook I'm working on, but I'm always working on all kinds of things, loose pages, other books. You know, it's kind of a cyclic process for me. If you're interested in learning about the classes that are coming out in the next couple months that I'm working on, one's on automatic and expressive drawing, another one's on the expressive and emotional energy of art making, and some other cool things coming as well. Just sign up for the newsletter, and when you sign up for the newsletter you get a free PDF of a series of questions that kind of guide you into opening more. And there's also a meditation that's a link to a meditation that's listed privately, which that just helps open up to the energy and the emotions. And you know, it's all coming and it's all here for us. We just have to keep going and keep creating and keep opening wider. So thank you for being here.